everyone, welcome to today's episode of the Osasu Show. On my weekend show last week, I showcased an exclusive interview I had with a pioneer of private broadcasting in Nigeria, High Chief Raymond Dokbesi, to commemorate his 70th birthday. We discussed critical issues around Nigeria's unity, democracy, youth and women's participation in politics, as well as the legacy he would like to leave behind. Here is a snippet from that interview.
Going through the journey I have gone through, and I believe that I need to dedicate the rest of my life to the service of humanity, to the service of Nigerians, to really vigorously pursue without any baggages those things that I think are proper to unite this country, to strengthen this country, to give the younger generation the proper role after all. You see, you don't compare apples to grapes. Yes, I haven't looked very carefully. I haven't lived in this country. I haven't been part of Nigeria. The struggles and knowing what I know. Atiku Abubakar is not PNB. PNB was overthrown in 1985. Please listen to what the first brokers and compare them with today. But that you don't have a justification for the overthrow of PNB. The same people who brought PNB were part of the struggle who celebrated in 1985. I respect the aspiration of the younger people. I agree with the vision of the younger people. Yes. But it is wrong to generalize. Nigeria is in a very, very bad shape. Osasu, look at the indices. We are now the capital of poverty. Over 33% of our youth are unemployed. At the time I was growing up, jobs were looking for us. Today, people look for jobs for over 10 years. And when I was in secondary school, Shell was coming, various industries, Nigerian Post Authority, all of that. I could cherry pick. That's not the situation today. The economy is absolutely useless. I'm not saying that all the things that have happened should be blamed on President Jonathan, on Buhari. President
Buhari
alone. Mm-hmm. But President Jonathan was exemplary, was good. But President Jonathan also, the system didn't allow him to achieve all the things that he needed. Maybe we'll come up to the fact that when they preached change, we left a little bit of progress, development, when we were told about change, to a worse situation. So this change that APC preached is total failure. There's nothing that they have achieved. They have gone on propaganda, they have lied to Nigerians, they have misled, and that is why your generation is thinking that nobody else can really deal with the problems of Nigeria.
The young people are asking for more spaces for women, more spaces for young people, more spaces for people living with disabilities. And the PDP is putting up its convention from the from what we're seeing, from what we're hearing, it seems like there isn't any space that's been purposely created for people who have not benefited from the system, the party system, all this while. So we're not really seeing any change. PDP is saying that they're a good alternative to APC. But if you're positioning yourself as a good alternative, shouldn't you be creating these spaces for more people to get involved? I mean, right now, it's just the woman leader position that we are seeing is going to be giving to any woman. So what happened to the deputy chairman positions? What happened to other key positions in the party? Why haven't you, as an elder statesman, you as a PDP stalwart, fought for the rights of women, fought for the rights of young people in these political parties? I think that at 70, this should be at the forefront of your demands now, because you're very well respected within the party.
Let me settle.
So it's time to create this space.
Let me settle your mind. There you got me very clearly. I've been propagating and pushing for the rights of the younger people, for the rights of women. I personally, I believe if there's something that stops a woman becoming the chairman of PDP, because I'm telling you, women in other climes have been heads of government.
Yes, sir.
I don't see any reason why younger people cannot play the roles, hold higher positions.
Welcome back. You can watch the full interview on our website, www.tostvnetwork.com. For the remainder of today's episode, we'll be focusing on the Anambra governorship election. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, have declared a sit-at-home order for all locals, while the incumbent governor and the police, on the other hand, have encouraged citizens to come out in full force and exercise their democratic franchise, while assuring citizens they are prepared to protect their lives and properties. Who will Anambrans listen to, and what are their overall expectations for the upcoming election? We'll find out in just a moment, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the Osasu Show. North to South Africa, East to West Africa, TOS TV Network is your digital-first Pan-African news network, bringing you news from across the continent. Visit our website www.tostvnetwork.com and follow us on social media at TOS TV Network on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
November 6th is the D-Day for the Anambra governorship election. With the party campaigns rounded up and barely a day to the election, stakeholders are expectant of a peaceful and credible election. Due to the peculiarities of the challenges the state has been experiencing, some added that voter turnout might not be encouraging.
When you look at it, this security situation in Anambra is worrisome, because you can't expect something, let me say, credible. It's not as if I'm disputing them, because if you look at this, majority of people will be running for their life, and from what I read on newspaper, I learned some people are even running out of the state for the safety of their life. And as a result of that, you won't have, even people won't come out in mass, but although I still expect the election to be somehow credible, but not completely, not totally credible, partially. Because you discover that in some places, the own election won't hold there as a result of one issue or the other, but somehow we still expect something better from INEC due to their promises.
The case of Anambra is very peculiar. I want to say, as a person, I believe the government don't manage the situation well. Now deploying 35,000 whatever personnel to Anambra, where is good, but it will counterproductive, because sometimes when people see police, army everywhere, it will also can create fear rather than give them confidence. So they should also look at that area, not because some of these security personnel can be overzealous. You shoot anyhow before you know people will run inside. But if they are well cultured, if they are well trained, and they are able to educate the voters that we are here for you, not just saying it, and the people see them do it, definitely people will come out.
It may only affect the turnout, but it's not going to 100% stop people from coming out of voting. Some people, some percentage will be afraid to go out. So what they are saying is just a threat. Even if they are going to take an action, that it cannot prevent everybody from coming out. As a man in my village, nobody can stop me if I'm in my village that I should not go out. We know all our friends, everybody know. We know people that are bad, we know this thing. If I want to come out in my village tomorrow and do something, say they are doing, there is nobody that can stop me. Say I will not go and vote. You understand what I'm saying? So the issue is that there are some percentage that will not come out. It may reduce the turnout, but it's not going to be totally political apathy.
If federal governments were as sincere for free election, they would have not been troubled so much battalions and police army. So I'm scared, and also I'm afraid. So I wonder how people will come out. Many people will not come out to come and vote. All I know is that as far as the federal government, the piloting of federal government is APC. So they really want that Anambra by all means.
Experts, on the other hand, are positive of a peaceful election and debunked insinuations that the deployment of 34,000 police officers by the government is intended to sway the election in favor of the ruling party.
No, I don't think that there'll be a whole lot of trouble in Anambra State. I think that the media is a bit unfair to some of the candidates. I know that in the eye of the media, you have three major candidates. But for us who understand the politics of Anambra State, you have a party that has a sitting senator. And that senator who won 5 local governments in the previous election is running for governorship. You cannot take him out of the equation. And that's Senator Ifeanyuba. He is a gubernatorial candidate of the Young People's Party, Progressive Party of YPP. And you can't rule him out because he won 5 local governments out of 6 in the last senatorial election. That's by the way. I also think that what we cannot rule out is the fact that, sadly, Anambra has been heavily militarized. So, do I envisage any problem at the eve of the election or after the election? Basically, not so much. But I think that rather than just deploy the military into Anambra State, there is a role for federal government, a role for the state government, a role for INEC, and indeed the elder statesman to play regarding this election.
I do not think the security deployment would discourage voters. Rather, it is meant to encourage voters. There are 2 security operations that were ongoing in the southeast even before the elections. That is the Operation Restore Order or Restore Peace by the police, either Restore Order or Restore Peace by the police, and then Operation Golden Dawn by the military.
We know the people who are causing this violence, trying to use that violence to intimidate the space and, as they say, dominate the state. I do not think they will win in the long term because I look at the history of Eastern Nigeria, ranging from the days of the slave trade and the times after the British had departed, ranging to the time of the Civil War. Igbos are not known to be dominated by anybody. So if there are any set of individuals who think they can dominate Igbos and then be able to seize their land. I believe they will be shocked at what they will get, because it's not just to stage one part of the battle, but it is to look at the cascade of battles that it will take for them to finally say they have Eastern Nigeria dominated. I don't think anybody can do that.
They also expressed concern over activities of agitators as well as the sit-at-home order declared by IPOB.
When people say that the Southeasterners and indeed Anambrians adhere to the sit-at-home order of IPOB, that is largely untrue. Let me tell you what happens. It's the fear of the reprisal actions, not necessarily obedience, but people sit at home out of fear. And I think that what we'll see on Saturday is people coming out because they believe that their safety will be guaranteed by the men and officers of the armed forces, the police, the civil defense, and the likes. That's actually what will happen. But I do also believe that the agitation of our POB has been given some kind of validity by, if you like, the action or inaction of state operators and government. And I also believe that the way to handle it is to, rather than threaten or rather than take actions that exacerbate the crisis, to engage the people. I am not one of those who think that most Igbos and most Southeasterners subscribe to separatism. I'm not one of those who think that most Southeasterners believe in Biafra. Most of us believe in Biafra as an ideology, as a call for equity, justice, fairness, and inclusiveness, not Biafra as a call for a territorial separation from the Nigerian state.
IPOB, it's a propaganda organization. They have expressed their wish. But of course, IPOB is not Igbo, and IPOB is not Nigerian government. IPOB doesn't have the authority to establish that which they think. They have done sit at home, called it off, but the people have on their own decided to do what they wish. I don't think IPOB will affect the Anambra election. The IPOB have always engaged in propaganda. We have never known them to go out to the field to do anything until the federal government decided to export its troops to the east, and that was when we now saw the escalation of violence, and that was why we begged. That was also why the Ohaneze begged the president when he visited Imo State to please take away the troops currently in East. We do not think it is anything good that federal government brings troops to Eastern Nigeria. We believe troops should be taken to the north, where the Fulani terrorists held sway, where there are signs of them abducting students and closing whole schools, where we've seen them shoot at the army, shoot at the trains, shoot down Nigerian Air Force Alpha jets, kill and abduct officers at the Nigerian Defense Academy. We do not have this kind of hostilities in the north, in the east. And that's why we believe the federal government would not be doing anybody any favor bringing troops to Eastern Nigeria.
They, however, called on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to live up to expectations, as the election is expected to set precedent for subsequent ones.
INEC has attempted to correct us to say it's not going to transmit result electronically. Rather, it's going to transmit the documentation of the result electronically. And so I'm calling on INEC in today's world, cybersecurity is a huge element, and that they should look closely at the platform through which they are transferring these election results documents. That platform, the integrity of that platform has to be sacrosanct. If the integrity is violated, then the entire practice and operation will be put to naught, and it could face a lot of court proceedings after that. So clearly, cybersecurity should be a huge element for INEC in this period.
Clearly, I hope that INEC lives up to its billings. I hope that INEC gives to Nigerians a pointer of great things to come with 2023 before us. I hope that Anambra becomes a watershed in our electoral protocol. And I say this advisedly. I want to see Mahmoud Yakub and his team live up to the expectations. I want to see decisively free, fair, and credible Anambra Guba elections. I want to believe that Anambra will be a pointer to better general elections. I want to see them deploy technology to the best of its ability, and then fine-tune the process with 2023 before us.
The only new thing promised in this election by INEC is a deployment of the electronic transfer of results. So we know INEC does have the capability, and INEC can do it. So what we're saying is do it in Anambra, use it later on across the country. I know INEC can do well. It's just as Professor Jega said, the politicians trying to undermine the progress of the country for their own intentions. There is no reason a country like Nigeria should not be able to transmit its elections. Why? We have cellular capabilities in most parts of Nigeria, and where we have cellular challenges, we can invest in satellite telephony. Because if you look at the characters that are actually to be transferred, it is not that much. Satellite telephone, cellular telephone, all of that can do the job. And we have the resources to acquire the tools if need be. Allow the laws to exist. Let INEC decide for the good of what it thinks is very possible at elections. Let the people's will count. Let the votes count. So I have no doubt if INEC wants to do good thing, it can do good thing. All the times when INEC hasn't been able to do the good thing has always been the time when politicians have either for primordial or for sub-base reasons want to undermine the process. It is very possible for Nigerians to do the right thing. It is very possible for us to take back our country and program it towards a successful tomorrow for the good of us who are now alive, and also for the generations who are younger that we brought into this earth. A new Nigeria is possible, and I believe together we can do it.
That's it for today's episode of the Osasu Show. Do follow us on social media at TOSTV Network, at Osasu Igbinedion, at the Osasu Show on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You could read news on sustainable development and current affairs across Africa on our website, www.tostvnetwork.com. Don't forget, TOSTV is your Pan-African digital-first news station. We bring you programs from all across the world, such as Africa Now, The Conversation, Health 54, and many more. So go on our website and watch this very interesting and educative programming. COVID-19 is still very much out there. Do make sure you wash your hands frequently, wear your face mask, sanitize, and take very good care of yourself. Until next week, I'll see you same time, same place. Don't forget to set your reminders, but do stay blessed.
North to South Africa, East to West Africa, TOS TV Network is your digital-first Pan-African news network, bringing you news from across the continent. Visit our website www.tostvnetwork.com and follow us on social media at TOS TV Network on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.